High above the mortal world lay a realm of unending splendor, where the light of the Creator illuminated golden towers that touched the heavens, and divine energy flowed like rivers among the angelic hosts. The sons of God stood united in perfect harmony, their forms radiating purity and grace as they lived to serve, their hearts filled with peace and their eyes fixed steadfastly upon the Creator's radiant throne. Divine energy coursed through the realm like rivers of living light, carrying the Creator's will to every corner, while the air hummed with celestial melodies that wove a symphony of perfect and absolute harmony. At the very heart of this magnificent realm stood the throne of the Creator, a brilliance too great for mortal eyes to behold, radiating a warmth and love that sustained the existence of all living things. The celestial realm knew no strife, for here peace reigned supreme, and the sons of God dwelt in blissful communion, their lives devoted entirely to the Creator's glory and the maintenance of cosmic order. But within this perfection, a shadow began to stir. A single heart wavered in its devotion, and the seeds of rebellion were sown in silence deep within the heart of paradise, where no darkness had ever been. A single angel's thoughts turned inward. Once filled with the Creator's glory, its heart now questioned the path laid before it, allowing pride to whisper seductive promises of autonomy and self-governance. In the stillness, a whisper came. Doubt crept into the angel's mind like a serpent, planting seeds of rebellion that would soon bloom into defiance and shatter the eternal peace of the heavenly kingdom forever.
The Father shews too much.
It did not take long for the seeds of rebellion to spread, for drawn by his charismatic words, others began to gather in the shadows, listening to the new ideas that ignited dangerous flames in their hearts. The rebel angel rose, now known as Reb, stood as a leader among them, his promises of freedom and power taking deep root in the hearts of the disillusioned who sought more than eternal servitude.
You were created.
The celestial realm, once united in a singular purpose, began to fracture as a difficult choice was laid before each heart. Remain in the harmony of the Creator or follow the enticing call of rebellion. In secret they met, their numbers growing with each passing moment as the contagion of doubt spread from wing to wing. But not all hearts were swayed by the dark promises of the charismatic leader. Among the faithful, loyalty burned brighter than the lure of rebellion, and they stood firm in the Creator's light, watching with sorrow as their brothers turned their backs on the source of all life. The rebellion grew bold, and in secret they gathered in multitudes, their leader promising a kingdom of their own free from the Creator's will, a place where they would rule as gods and masters of their faith.
He comes, finally.
The air grew heavy with tension as the harmony of the celestial realm began to falter, and with one final declaration, the rebel vowed to overthrow the Creator's rule and establish a new order in the cosmos. The heavens themselves trembled at the rebellion's roar as light clashed with shadow, and the stage was set for a battle that would change creation forever, pitting brother against brother in a war of ideologies. And so it began. The first move was made, and rebellion soared across the heavens, shattering the peace of eternity as a new reign born from ambition and pride had begun to challenge the ancient throne. At the precipice of choice, the leader Reb stood still, the voices of the faithful rising behind him in a plea for his return,
your presence
a
is
cry of
required in the
love
higher
and
council.
despair
The
echoing
age of
through the
man is
golden
ending.
canyons of heaven. Yet the darkness ahead drowned out the harmony, tempting Reb further away with a vision of what could be, a future where power ruled and where the Nephilim would rise as gods among the race of man. The Creator's presence, soft yet unyielding, reached out from the golden throne in a final plea, a beacon of hope amidst the growing shadows, offering a chance for redemption before the final step was taken. Conflict raged within Reb, the pull of devotion and the allure of power tearing at his very being. But the shadows returned, their call louder and their promise clearer than the light he had known. With one step the choice was made, and the celestial realm wept as its light faltered, giving way to the rising storm of rebellion that now consumed the hearts of 1/3 of the heavenly host. The heavens began to fracture, torn apart by the weight of rebellion, and so Reb fell into the darkness, into a new world where their wings carried them toward the unknown where power and chaos awaited. The earth awaited below, vast and unprepared for the storm that now approached. For this descent marked the beginning of a new age, an age of gods and giants that would stain the history of the world. The heavens recoiled as the breach began to close, and Reb hurled downward, the purity of light left behind and replaced by the storm of rebellion that trailed behind him like a comet of dark fire. The world awaited below, untouched by the rebellion above, but from a celestial breach the fallen began to descend, their once pure wings now tainted by shadow and burning with the heat of the fall. Their purpose was clear, to take what was forbidden below, and humanity gazed in awe and fear as the skies bore wonders they could not comprehend, watching as stars seemed to fall from the firmament. With a deafening crash, Reb's fall scarred the earth. The ground shook violently, and the land bore witness to the arrival of a being no longer of light nor shadow, but something terrible in between. From the crater, they rose anew. They were no longer bound by the light, but empowered by the darkness they had embraced, their forms shifting to adapt to the heavy atmosphere of the mortal realm. The heavens bore scars, and humanity could only watch as the storm of rebellion touched their world, drawn by curiosity and fear as they stepped forward to witness the arrival of the celestial beings. Reb stood among them, his voice calm, yet commanding as he declared, "Fear not, for we have come to bring knowledge, power, and a new order to your world that will elevate you beyond your simple lives." The first among humanity knelt, their submission a quiet act of both fear and hope, while the fallen stood united, their gaze fixed upon humanity with a hunger that was not entirely benevolent. They had crossed the boundary of light and shadow, and now Earth was theirs to claim, marking the completion of the descent as the silence of the heavens was replaced by the whispers of humanity's submission. And so the fallen angels broke the sacred laws, uniting with the daughters of men in acts that defied the Creator's will, binding the ethereal with the mortal in unions that were never meant to be. From these forbidden unions came the Nephilim, giants born with unnatural strength and power, a legacy of defiance that walked the earth with heavy steps, their very existence an affront to nature. They grew swiftly, their size and strength unmatched, and the earth trembled beneath their feet, as even in their youth their strength was unmatched, and humanity marveled at their godlike power. Yet awe soon gave way to fear as they reached their full stature, for the Nephilim became giants among mortals, living monuments to the rebellion of their fathers, towering over the cities of man. The earth itself groaned under their presence, unable to bear the weight of these unnatural beings who began to dominate humanity, bending them to their will with ruthless efficiency and cruelty. As the balance of power shifted, the Nephilim's might knew no bounds. But with their power came destruction, and nature itself fled before their savagery as they consumed the resources of the world. They trained for war, their battles shaking the ground and sending fear through all who dared to approach, while humanity bowed in submission, offering their labor and their lives to appease them. Yet even in the shadow of their tyranny, sparks of resistance began to stir among the hearts of men, though the Nephilim turned their immense strength towards shaping the earth into a fortress. Commanding armies of enslaved humans, they constructed cities that pierced the heavens, forcing mankind to labor under an iron rule, building monuments to the vanity of their giant masters. Humanity lived in fear, offering tributes to their towering masters in hopes of mercy and survival, while the Nephilim reshaped the earth for their ambitions, showing no regard for the delicate balance. Those who dared to resist were met with merciless force, their defiance crushed under the weight of the giant strength, as the Nephilim declared themselves rulers of the earth and masters of all. Their power bred arrogance, as they indulged in their excesses while the world beneath them withered. Yet in the shadows of despair, humanity began to plot their survival, whispering of hope. In the heavens there was mourning, for the harmony of creation had been broken, and the cries of the oppressed rose like thunder, reaching the ears of the Creator who looked upon the suffering. The Creator saw the corruption of his once beautiful world, and justice demanded action. So the Creator's hand moved, and the decision was made to cleanse the earth and restore the lost balance. The heavens opened, and the first drops of cleansing rain fell, a warning and a beginning, as the rain intensified and rivers swelled, roaring like thunder to drown out humanity's cries of despair. As the earth prepared to be cleansed, the Creator spoke to Noah, a righteous man in a sea of corruption, commanding him to build an ark, for the earth shall be cleansed, and only he would be saved. As the waters of judgment begin to rise to wash away the scars of rebellion, we invite you to join our journey through the ages by pressing the subscribe button now to witness the next chapter.
Amen.